good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to all of you. Let's talk a little sports, and especially Shedeure Sanders of the University of Colorado, who we saw drop so bad in the NFL draft that it makes you just scratch your head to a point. Now, of course, Shedeure Sanders played at Jackson State University when his dad was coached, and when his dad became Buffalo's coach, he came over with it, which I'm sure there was a deal with Colorado with that one, no doubt about it. Now let's just start by saying this. Quarterback is the most difficult position to find in sports. There have been so many teams that paid a lot of good college athletes to become quarterback who have absolutely flopped. And we also got quarterbacks who were drafted late in the draft that became really great. Joe Montana was a third-round pick, was considered not to have good arm strength, became one of the greatest of all time. Ryan Leaf, it was a discussion whether him or Peyton Manning, who would be the first-round overall pick and who would be the better quarterback. Well, Peyton Manning's in the Hall of Fame, and Ryan Leaf was a complete bust. You know, then you have Tony Romo, who was an unrestricted free agent, wasn't drafted at all. Became a great regular season quarterback, put up some great stats. Tom Brady wasn't a 7th round choice. So, you don't know where your next good quarterback is going to come from. Now, there are a lot of experts, especially Mark Hyper on ESPN, you know. He's been doing the NFL draft, I remember, since I've been a kid. And there's times I agree with him, there's times where I don't agree with him. But, I mean, for him to trash the whole league to pass on Shedeure Sanders, you know, I'm not sure anymore. I mean, Shedeure Sanders was invited to be part of the NFL draft. He came in like his dad, all flashy, all arrogant and everything. And to see him sit there after the first round, second round, third round, then if you didn't see the prank call someone gave him saying he was being drafted by the Saints. And kudos to Shedeure Sanders, he handled like a pro. Which is just flat out wrong to do that to someone. I'm sorry, it is. And then you have Congressman Bowman, who made a jackass of himself. Probably doesn't know nothing about sports, how there was racism involved with trying to punish Shedeure Sanders. Congressman Bowman, the first overall pick of the draft was a black quarterback named Cam Ward. And the discussion the whole draft was, who is the better quarterback, Cam Ward or Shedeure Sanders? Now, Congressman Bowman is going to say, well, they like it because he's black and he dresses fleshy, he wears gold chains. Well, Cam Ward is black, he wears braids, and he plays for the University of Miami, who, for many years, and that's my team, that's my college team. As a New Yorker, become a Hurricane fan, where I jumped in the bandwagon in 1983, and they stayed on. But with Cam Ward being the first overall pick of the draft, I'm sorry, your wishful thinking theory and race baiting is out the window. The second pick of the draft was Shedeure Sanders' teammate, Travis Hunter, who the Jacksonville Jaguars gave quite a lot away to move up in the draft to get this guy. And listen, Travis Hunter is probably the best, most athletic, two-position football player to come out in my lifetime. Someone try to name me someone else who's just as good in two spots, quarterback and wide receiver. But he was flashy, dressed in a bright pink suit. He's black. It was his teammate. So, again, Congressman Bowman, you're being ridiculous. The third team, my team, the Giants, who needed a quarterback, took Abdul Carter, a black guy, defensive end out of Penn State. And then, later on, the Giants moved up back in the first round draft to draft another quarterback named Jackson Dart out of Mississippi. Now, this was not a quarterback-rich draft. It wasn't. Last year was the quarterback-rich draft. So as far as the Giants go, did they make the right move going after Jackson Dart? Again, we'll see. We don't know where your next quarterback's coming from. I hope the Giants made the right move. Otherwise, we'll be terrible for another 10, 12 years. So, racism had nothing to do with it. But the rumor coming out of this guy was he didn't attend the NFL Combine because he didn't want to be drafted by certain teams. And his dad, Shedeure Sanders, who was very flashy, very arrogant, and has done a lot for football, said, I'm going to make sure my son goes to the team I want him to go. And was very arrogant about it in the press conference. Many teams said he totally bombed out in his pre-draft interview, including my team, the New York Giants, who were sitting at number 3 and probably needed a quarterback for the future. They already signed Jameis Winston, a black guy, who won the Heisman Trophy and won a national championship, and Russell Wilson, who's been to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. And this was the word around the league. He didn't participate in the Combines. He totally bombed out in his NFL draft interviews. I'm like, well, how bad can a guy bomb out? But, you think about how arrogant both him and his dad are. I could pretty much see it. Because even his dad didn't do this crap back when he was getting drafted by the Yankees and by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, a lot of people, including Stephen A. Smith, have said there must have been collusion among the owners to teach him a lesson. In a draft where quarterbacks were not plentiful, and being that there are plenty of teams out there who need a quarterback, and the NFL is desperate in need of good quarterbacks because there aren't enough. Was it? Would a team really hurt themselves to prove a point that much? And when you look at the reaction of the Cleveland Browns when they took him to the fifth round, the Brown staff wasn't exactly enthused by their choice and almost looked surprised. Just my observation, just my opinion. I don't know. But not for nothing, you look at his stats, I mean, it's not like the guy can't play ball. I mean, his stats are pretty good. I mean, now, is he the most athletic quarterback like Cam Ward? No, he's not. Can he run? No, but a lot of quarterbacks are pocket passers. People say he lacks presence in the pocket. That's debatable. Does he have the leadership skills people really like of him? That wouldn't surprise me. I never got leadership. Don't mistake his arrogance and cockiness for leadership. And he did help of having Travis Hunter on his team, the greatest 2-spot athlete ever to play college football. Again, someone challenged me on that. People said his lack of arm strength really hurt him, which I do agree with. I don't think his arm is that strong, but there have been plenty of quarterbacks who have had a good arm that made it in the NFL. So, was this an overhyped show that finally collapsed on Shedeure? Or did his father cost his own son millions and millions and millions of dollars between both their arrogance and their attitudes? I mean, when you have a chance to become part of the less than 1% of the population who gets to do what these guys do and play professional sports, I I would just keep my mouth shut and enjoy the ride. But who knows? It cost them millions and millions of dollars after a contract. It probably cost them millions and millions more in advertisements because of it. So the only person Deion Shedeure hurt in this draft was pretty much themselves. Now people say he brings too much drama. Well, listen, what drama does he bring? I mean, not for nothing, there are plenty of guys. Warren Sapp was a very dramatic player, had a weed problem. He dropped in the draft, but still drafted in the first round. He tended to be a good player. Anyone remember Lawrence Phillips of the Nebraska Cornhuskers? He was taken in the first round by the LA Rams, despite all his legal troubles, his problems with beating up females. Or the NFL did not like the way Deion was telling the NFL, I run the show here, and prove a point to him at the expense of his son? Listen, we know how the NFL is. That is one of the most well-oiled businesses in the world. And they keep making more and more money every year. If you think you're going to go around push around 32 billionaires and the commissioner and tell them how this is going to run, you're crazy. Now, I can remember when my guy Eli Manning told the San Diego Chargers, I'm not playing for you guys, because his father Archie was involved. But Eli Manning still attended the NFL pre-draft interviews and did well. He still attended the NFL Combine and did well. John Elway was another guy who told the Colts, I'm not playing for the Baltimore/Indianapolis Colts. And he ended up training with the Broncos. But he still did the NFL Draft Day and NFL Combine. Did the Sanders family just go too far? I think so more than anything else. I'm sorry, but those two have to look at themselves in the mirror. Deion, not for nothing, you made your money. And you're still making it playing head coach for the Colorado Buffaloes. Your son, on the other hand, I think you really screwed him over on this one. Collusion with all the teams that need a quarterback, good luck playing that. Comments down below, what's your opinion? I'd like to know. And football fans, let me hear your comments, because this is the biggest head scratcher at NFL Draft Day in my lifetime. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. We'll talk to you later.